Alright guys, so we're going to be squatting a lot in the next couple of weeks. There's already a front squat mobility video up, and I'll probably put that in the description on this video, but what I want to talk about was the back squat. There's a few things. I'm just going to start from the top down. In terms of hand placement, generally what you want is a little either in front of the shoulder or outside the shoulder. Okay, I'm going to have most of you go outside the shoulder. Super wide is not okay. Super narrow is usually impossible. There's a few different ways that this has been taught. When I was in Russia, I was taught to have my wrists bent and the elbows back. I'm pretty sure that CrossFit teaches it under. So the difference being, if you're underweight, wrists bent, elbows back here, pulling the bar into yourself. I think CrossFit teaches it this way here. I don't really think it makes a great deal of difference. The only difference that matters is if you, I'm gonna kind of skip some steps here, but as you're squatting, if you're someone whose elbows go forward because you lack the hip mobility to do a proper back squat, and it looks like this, that's not okay. All right? So regardless of whether you hold it here and go straight down and then come straight back up, or you do this and do the same thing, I'm not sure that matters, but if you're someone who has to use the forward momentum of the elbows to help you as you pass 90, because otherwise you can't do it, you have to stick your butt out like this, that's the only part that's going to matter. As we go down, you're going to want to start to use your diaphragm correctly. So as we squat, if you think about putting your hand on your belly and pressing into your hand, it should be hard to breathe, and you should be able to create rigidity right here. As we do that and we begin to go back, there's a difference between this, which is not correct, and this, which is. All right? It's a small difference. It's really important. As we begin to go down with this tight, we need to be pushing through our butt right here to push those knees out. If you look at my feet aren't going to come off the ground. All I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the ground with my feet. I'm going to grab the ground by using the balls of my feet and the heels to squeeze my butt, push my butt into its position, push those knees out, and then come straight back up. All right? By using everything back here. If you're someone that has a lot of trouble using the posterior chain, using your butt, using your glutes in your squat, and you know you only use quads, you're going to want to slow your squat down a little bit. Anytime we're squatting heavy, you do want to attack the hole and then get out of the hole fast. But if your squat looks like this, it's unlikely you're doing it right. It's really hard to make that movement correct, even for really advanced athletes. Usually what happens is you just disconnect. So there is something to be said for a bounce at the bottom. That is fine. If it looks totally like this and everything just collapses, which is what usually happens, we need to change it a little bit, and usually it means that you're shifting your weight forward and you need to keep it back over the malleolus or even closer to that heel. I'm going to get the bar here, go over the movement that would be nice to see. As we're here and we go back with our butt and start dropping, we want to start using our butt to push those knees out, keeping that chest up as much as possible. Right here, my chest is still vertical. My butt is still active. I can feel myself pushing out through my knees. I can feel it right here. If you can't feel that at all, there might be a good indication that you're already here with those knees forward and possibly the heel off the ground going into your quads on the way up. All right? But rather, if you can be here into this position. If you know that you get stuck here, what you need to think about is pushing those knees out, throwing those hips forward as you come up. If you know that you can't use your butt well or your hamstrings well, it's not a punitive measure, it's just something that helps. I use this all the time. I definitely am more butt dominant than anything else. It will help if you put the band on. You just need to make sure that as you do this, you don't get to a position where you're squatting like this. See how my hips just went underneath? We don't want to be here. Okay, this isn't helping you either. All right? So if you do use the band, you actually have to fight the band. You have to push into it. So as you went back, you have to push that band out so you can maintain that acute angle here without having that butt go under like this. So you see, as soon as I lost the ankle flexibility, my butt went under, and this isn't really helping us anymore, okay? So if we are squatting with this, the cue, it should be just a kinesthetic cue given to you by the band to push those knees apart as you go down. If it's too hard, find an older band. They're a lot easier. But for a lot of us that have trouble activating back here in our squat, we might want to start, especially in our lower, well, I guess higher rep, lower percentage, we might want to start using the band, right? Again, pressing out into that band as you go down, and then making sure you squeeze your butt to come up.